Indiana Jones, Indiana. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones, minutes.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute. This is the podcast where we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1 minute at a time. And that minute thing, as you may have noticed by our unusual intro today, that's because this is Movies by Minutes week, and we have several all-stars from several other Movies by Minute podcasts. So with that introduction, I'm Pete Mummert.
And I'm Tom Taylor.
And I'm Jerry Porter, but I can't really think about being Jerry Porter right now because I'm thrilled that we are joined by Cassandra Fredrickson, and she's in her own mine of Moria as we are careening through the Temple of Doom mine. And for those of you who know about the Mines of Moria, she runs the Lord of the Rings podcast, where it's the whole movie, Lord of the Rings 1 minute at a time, which, this was news to Pete, that I love Lord of the Rings. I love Lord of the Rings. I hate every other thing about nerds and every other Star Trek I hate. I don't really care about Aquaman. But I love Lord of the Rings so much, and I'm thrilled to have you with us here today, Cassandra.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here too.
I can vouch for Jer's bizarre love of Lord of the Rings. There was one time, and you can cut this if you want, there was one time where he's taking forever in the bathroom, and we knocked on the door. He said, Jer, what are you doing? He's like, I'm diminishing into the west.
Lord of the Rings is perfect. As a matter of fact, I have a lot of respect for you, Cassandra, because I don't think I could do it a minute at a time. Like, I would just stop and, that's huge. It's such an undertaking.
I'm starting to feel it, honestly. As of this recording, we are on, minute 185.
Oof.
Wow.
So that's 3 of these Indiana Jones movies, pretty much. So.
Yeah, really.
That's crazy.
Can we take a minute and just kind of play, have a little word fun with Temple of Doom and Lord of the Rings? They both have, mines.
Oh, I can't play this game.
They both have Doom.
They got Doom
Mount
with
Doom.
lava. Yeah.
Well, we can't leave Pete out.
No, I can try.
Turf.
They've got those frogmen guys in the cave.
Yeah, they do. And they got orcs, right, Pete?
Yeah.
They got orcs.
Yeah, they got dorks.
There you go.
They got their lunch money taken, right?
Yep. Sure, he's got all of his Ren Fair costumes.
They've got elephants. They got Oliphants.
That's
Oh,
right.
really?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
don't.
I vaguely remember
You guys are just
that.
making that up, aren't you? They are elephants.
They fell for the elephant thing.
Aw.
All right. Well, you did catch me there.
This is the first time anyone's ever been picked on for not liking Lord of the Rings.
Well, I want to get out of here and into someplace safe, like a mine cart
smart.
rolling over lava. So
Right.
There you go.
we're going to do that with minute 96, which begins with Shorty urging Indy to hurry up and ends with Indy flinging Shorty into the back of their mine cart and some guys shooting at them. And again, we've got Shorty yelling, hurry, hurry up. And I just can't understand how Indy is supposed to hurry up.
They're both yelling it at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing what I can, kid.
Shorty says a lot of stuff that's just kind of throwaway.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. I like the guy. I like the kid.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does. He says a lot of stuff just, even in future minutes, he just, Indy do this, Indy do that, Indy this, no, yes, no, yes.
Oh, I love that about him.
Yeah.
He just gets these little jabs in, and he's always got an opinion.
Yeah.
That opinion can change from minute to minute, but he's got it.
I have a son about his age, and I ignore 95% of what he says because it's just trifle.
Well, I love that Mola Ram is just fuming right here because, Indy is awakened from the black sleep, Khaled, and Mola Ram knows that even if he apprehends Indy, it's such a toilsome mess just to get that guy to choke down more Khaled, and now Pat Roach is even dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, like, who's left to snapdragon Indy's mouth?
It took like 3 extra guys.
Yeah.
And you nailed it, Pete. It's exactly like getting your irascible cat with IBS to choke down the medication. It's like everybody gets scratched.
Yeah. Everybody.
It was so interesting watching this minute completely out of context because I haven't seen this movie in I think a year or so, and Shorty sounds like Elmo. So like the whole time I was just imagining like Elmo in the minecart with Indy.
At least 3 listeners are furiously working on that right now. Please visit the Listeners Crusade for evidence.
I hope so. That would be wonderful.
I love it. At second 5, we see that Mola Ram has "hi" written on his arm too. So I think we talked about that previously. At least they're consistent with that.
Yeah. His other arm says, "Ask me. I'm here to help." But Indy finally makes it to the cart, and he grabs a shovel and he hits the switch to go in exactly the wrong direction. Like Shorty, even before Shorty says anything about like which way to go, he hits the switch like deliberately to go like into the red cave. But like what? Like I don't know what is that based on at all? Like what is he thinking? Like why is he changing the direction? Why is he going in that direction? That's based on nothing. It seems like, except for us to get anxious.
I don't understand it. There's like a welcoming bluish white light, that illuminates the functioning left tunnel, and a smoky red light that illuminates the hazardous right tunnel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the hell he's doing here. Yeah, I don't.
Well, it's like blue pill, red pill, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh maybe yeah. Maybe he figures it's a trick. Maybe he's like, "Oh, that one looks way too nice."
Yeah, that's too convincing.
You're not getting me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that blue one does look a lot, again, like the cover of Splinter of the Mind's Eye.
Yeah, it does. What would that path have been like? Would it just be like, there's a bar car and there's like gentle music playing and it's like a 2-minute trip and you just get there, you soft landing and
we get Shorty yelling, "Indy, the left tunnel. And what sucks is I guarantee Shorty's going to dish out another one of his preachy, "You listen to Sawu me more, you live longer" tongue lashings. Yeah. And he tells Indy too late here. Like he tells him too late.
Yeah, but why should he have to, like the track is already going the right way. It's already set to go the right way and he intentionally changes it.
Yeah.
So Shorty shouldn't have had to say anything. And I guess he only starts to say something when Indy goes bananas and just goes the wrong way for no reason.
It's a weird thing. It's a weird move by Indy, though. Like it's like he's just doing it to be doing something.
Hey, look what I can do. I got a shovel. I'm going to hit the switch.
Right.
They didn't see that coming. I'm Indiana Jones.
Is he drawn to the red one because he knows that like there'll be an element of chaos that he likes,
Maybe.
and so it's kind of like a level playing field because nobody knows what's going to happen if you go down this hazardous under construction tunnel.
Right.
Would you say this is a Sauron kind of a cave?
Oh,
there you go.
Was that the right? Was that
wow.
the right?
Sure.
You're a quick learner.
Like the scene where Sauron lures them into that cave.
Yeah.
And then they have to choose which box to open.
Do you think that there's like reinforcements up in the blue tunnel?
Good guy reinforcements or bad guy reinforcements?
Bad guy reinforcements. So maybe he's just like, oh, well, this goes the way they expect, so I'm going to put an element of chaos.
Yeah, we did surmise earlier that the Maharaja, when he woke up, was actually acting and he was still actually evil. And that he told him to take the left tunnel as a trap.
Could be. We did say that, didn't we? Oh my God! What if everyone who drinks the collie blood is then sort of like plugged into the hive mind, and now Indy knows all the plans and schemes of the Thuggy, and he does know that there are traps and bad guys waiting down the blue tunnel, just like Data with the Borg.
Oh, I'm happy we're back on solid footing.
Yeah, really. Remember that one, Pete? Remember?
Back on solid. You mean like orcs?
Sure. Yeah.
You mean I feel like we're pulling Pete. I'm pulling him back. I'm pulling him back over
He's
here.
my friend.
So, well, actually, before we continue, can we clarify something? Because this is driving me absolutely fish sticks.
Uh-huh.
Are these are these mine carts, or are they mine cars?
Oh. I always say cart.
I say both.
See, that's what's driving me fish sticks.
Well, is there a difference?
I don't know, but I mean, it was keeping me up last night, and I actually looked it up, and it's true. Either is acceptable, and it is also acceptable to call them mine trolleys. So, can we just all agree to please call them mine trolleys from now on?
It seems like a fair and reasonable middle ground that we can all agree on.
And just stick with that, because people say mine
sure I will.
carts, mine carts.
Isn't that what they call shopping carts in the UK? Aren't they or shopping
like
trolleys?
Yeah.
Shopping trolleys.
We call it a mine lorry.
Wasn't this filmed in the UK?
That's
yeah,
hey.
It's got
There
a point.
you go. They're mine trolleys.
Well, where do you fall in this debate, Cassandra?
Well, personally, I use car and cart interchangeably, but I'm in favor of trolley.
Okay.
So
right.
so you're part of the problem.
But fortunately, she's part of the solution. So.
Yes.
True.
She's changing her ways, Jer. Cut her some slack.
What happens is everybody at the end of that word, everybody kind of skids it. They go mine cars. Oh, they jump in the mine carts.
Mine car.
It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I'm going to miss this beautiful set back here with all these catwalks and gantries and stuff that you see behind Indy when they go in here. And then Mola Ram comes running out looking furious, and he yells, Jaldi Karo. And I think that's because it's dawned on him that Pat Roach is dead.
No.
He's just been pulverized. And that's why he's going to have all these angry gestures. He's just filled with grief and anger that his buddy is gone.
That's why he has that one tear in the corner of his eye. You see that? Jaldi Carol. Jaldi Carol. Poor guy.
Yeah. And we get the start of the mine trolley race.
Yeah?
Which looks a lot like the start of a bobsled race.
It does. It's like it's like in a James Bond movie.
Yeah, and I like it because my wife and I were in Sarajevo a few years ago, and one of the most interesting things in the city is the abandoned bobsled track from the '84 Olympics.
Oh my God, that's awesome!
And it's pretty cool. But I like to think that is what inspired this scene, because the way these guys jump in the cart is exactly like guys jumping into a bobsled.
Right. Now, does this? I mean, maybe I'm stupid, but does this make sense that if somebody's getting away in a mine cart, there's no power to it, it's just going to roll, on its own, what is that, kinetic energy? I don't know.
Yes.
Give me a second. I'm going to get my old middle school textbook. And then you send other guys after that same, isn't there like no chance that they'll ever catch up to them?
Well, if they weigh more, they can.
Yeah, he's got the brakes on too. So.
Oh, and he does?
Because he tells him to let the brakes out.
Oh,
That's right.
true.
Shorty's riding the brakes.
Yeah.
That is true.
Well, is it possible they could just run after him?
That's going pretty fast.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's just like he gets in the mine, he gets in the mine trolley, and then you just run and catch him.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as harrowing. I get it, but the style points aren't so good. But
Right. Gets the job done.
what's interesting is that the mine trolleys specifically have white headlights in the front and red taillights in the back, and I wondered if this sort of thing is mandated on vehicles like this. And so again, I looked it up, and the answer is yes, sort of. As you'd imagine, it actually wasn't that interesting of an answer. Headlights, they illuminate the road ahead, and tail lights prevent rear-end collisions. So they do actually mirror the tunnel lights too. But if you see a cart, and I guess if they're white on both, you wouldn't necessarily know if it was entirely coming or going. But if you see the red one,
That's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's going in reverse.
This, right at the beginning of this, we're following Indy and Shorty and Willie in their cart. And this is one of those things where, like, the dangers of behind the scenes stuff, because you find out in those things that, they use these meticulous little puppets and put them in this minecart. And you're like, what, really? And then you watch it again, you're like, oh my God, how did I miss that? Those are puppets in that thing.
Yeah, Willie's got like a cotton ball head.
Yeah, they're moving like puppets. They're kind of like stiff, weird little creatures in this thing.
That's
You're
awesome.
like, wow, how did I not see that?
It's beautifully shot, and it's Dennis Muren. If you guys remember, the guy we thought was Tote, or that everyone always thinks is Tote, getting on the China Clipper in Raiders.
Yeah,
is the guy in charge of these special effects, and they filmed a lot of this stop motion animation with these 10-inch puppets that you see here.
That's crazy.
I'm sure we'll be talking about these a lot in the next few minutes, but
it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is the track that the mine trolley is on, is that like a scale model then, and the little puppets are in it?
It's both. So there are two tracks. There's a miniature track that the puppets are in, and they film with stop motion animation, and then there's a full size track that runs around the building that they film the live actors in, and they
that's
just
awesome.
Yeah, and then Michael Kahn edits it together into a seamless chase.
I love stuff
that stop
like
motion
that.
is really
so
good.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact, like, I didn't know that this was stop motion until we really started watching this minute by minute. I mean, they do such a great job of making it seamless that you don't even really realize.
Yeah, even if it looks like miniatures, it doesn't look like the motion doesn't look stop motiony at all. It looks
it's
smooth
very
and
fluid,
fast and cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That roller coaster hill shot, that first person thing with like Willie's like Cedar Point scream. That actually gets me. That always gives me little whoopsie-daisies in my tummy tums, like going down there. It's like, whoa.
Me too.
That looks so fun. I would love to do that.
Yeah.
That just
Have
looks fun.
any of you ever been on the Indiana Jones ride at Disneyland?
No.
I have.
Field trip. Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Have you?
Yes, I have. I grew up in Southern California, so I've been there. But watching this, it just definitely reminded me of the ride, and I could definitely see like the inspiration for some of the parts in the ride. I think from this minute with the minecart.
Definitely. Although it's weird because in that ride you're in a Jeep on the track.
Yeah.
Which is strange. That is the worst ride I've ever been on for my lower back.
Oh,
really?
It's got like the worst lateral motion of any ride I've ever been on.
Yeah.
But it's awesome.
It's fun though. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. And there are like 4 different scenarios. Like every time you go on it, the cart goes on a different track.
Yeah,
so they're different things.
3?
Or 3? Okay, yeah. And like one's the boulder from Raiders, and I don't remember what the other ones are. It's cool.
There's like a giant snake, and
There's
like different avenues, and then they all end up in the same place where you get on and off, and it's really cool.
Yeah, we should do that, guys. This should be a field trip.
I'd love to do that, especially if it's terrible for your back.
Oh yeah,
that sounds
That'll
awesome.
be great.
We can all record the next show from the hospital. That'd be awesome.
It'll be Jaws, right? We can meet Brody and Ellen in there, and Mayor Vaughn. Yeah,
sure.
This was some coffee ice cream.
Coffee.
Cassandra, can we get your thoughts on what do you think about the Willie Shorty, them being included in the movie?
You think they should be allowed to exist?
Yeah, do you think they should be allowed to exist? Compare them to, say, like Legolas.
Is he the Hobbit?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I think Shorty has some good comedic moments, and it brings it brings like an element of humor to the movie. I don't really know what Willie contributes to this movie at all. I guess just as, to look pretty, but
Sure. And that works.
Yeah.
But I do prefer the character of Marion over Lily, I think.
You are not alone.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Willie apologist, and I prefer Marion 100% over Willie. Yeah.
We sort of figured that they sat down and said, let's draw the opposite character.
Right.
Than Marion. Let's make his love interest is blonde, and she doesn't. She's not,
incapable.
Marion, works the bar. This woman is like the lead, the lead singer, sort of, the head in the, the lead role. So they're very different characters for sure.
Yeah. I think the actress who plays Willie, I don't know her name off the top of my head, but I think that she does a good job with what she's given. Unfortunately, I just don't like the way that she, like the character and all.
Yeah, that's kind of where we've come down over the course of this thing. That, Kate Capshaw, she actually does a great job with what she's given. She's just not given much.
Yeah.
Which is a shame.
At second 45, we have a perfect Star Wars Carbonite fever dream quote.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you do it. It's yours. But we owe each other a dollar.
Why don't we all do it? You ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
We got company.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah, that is good.
Yep.
We're all good Star Wars fans.
Yeah, we're all good. Yeah, so that's
I
right.
knew that sounded familiar.
Yeah.
We get a weird thing as this minute goes on where Indy and Shorty keep changing places. It's kind of a weird continuity thing.
I was going to try to track that, and then I kind of gave up on it because I'm like, it's a small space. They're all jostling around. Maybe it makes sense in some weird way, but not always.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's perfectly symbolic of, who's the adult here in the movie.
Who's in the driver's seat?
Yeah. I mean, who are, who's actually making responsible decisions?
Yeah.
Well, by your logic, Jerry, the Rock of Gibraltar in this movie then is Willie. She's the immovable show of strength.
That's hilarious. Pete, don't ever say that about me again.
Would you say you just got Frodo'd?
Totally. You Frodo'd him good. He's Frodo the White now.
He looks more like Frodo the Red to me.
Burn.
You just keep pushing me down in the mud. Stop it! Cassandra, what's better? Lord of the Rings or Temple of Doom?
Go.
Or Raiders?
Raiders, actually.
Wow.
I'm a youngin', so the only indie movie I've seen in theaters is the fourth one, which is probably going to be a lot of fun to talk about now that I think about it. But I grew up on these movies, and Raiders is just a classic, such a classic. And I think a lot of I can see a lot of the techniques, especially with the miniature work in Lord of the Rings. I can see some of that in Spielberg. So I think that there's this correlation. But I love Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love Indiana Jones. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Hey, it's interesting. We're part of this movie by minute community. And there's all sorts of different movies or different types of movies that people do this 1 minute at a time. And, Raiders and Indiana Jones is kind of like this frolic rumpus through the streets of Cairo or wherever it is that they happen to be, exotic locales. But doing Lord of the Rings, I think, would be a very, very, very different type of endeavor.
Yeah, I think to me, I love Lord of the Rings, otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk about it for over 3 hours straight, but there's just something about, a good, silly adventure story that I just really love. Like, I really love fantasy stories, but so much of Lord of the Rings is so heavy, like a lot of the themes and such, and Indiana Jones is just fun.
Right.
It's just like I'll put it on for an afternoon and then it'll be over with, as opposed to it being a 12-hour marathon that I need to like start at noon and end at midnight. So
Well, like I said, hats off to you, because I would have a very hard time doing Lord of the Rings a minute at a time because it's so heavy. I'd like wind up in the floor of a dry shower after every minute, just sucking my thumb, questioning my life decisions. And I love that movie so much.
Well, we loved having you over for the minute that we talked about, which I think is cool that we talked about Mines of Moria, and now we're talking about Mine Trolleys here. So
God, that's true.
Kind of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that was awesome.
Hey, wait.
Oh.
Something's coming alive.
What?
Hey, coming
Oh
over
God.
the wire. This just in from Professor Christy Porter. Does Mola Ram know or care that all the slaves have escaped? Huh.
I bet he's aware of that.
We don't see a lot of reaction from him about that, though, which is interesting.
Well, he was in his like Joker escape tunnel when that was all happening, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then he just comes out angry.
Yeah, so like they're all gone by the time he gets back on the scene, and now he's just furious and trying to get Indy and trying to get the stones and just gonna wreck the place in a little while.
That's like when you're at a party and someone says, "Oh, could you go get some more drinks?" And you run out to the store and you come back and everyone's gone. And you're just like,
I think he's starting to crack.
Yeah.
I think we see right here he's really, really upset. And, for a lot of reasons, like we said, it's going to take a whole lot of mess and trouble, and he's got to, sort of recruit new Pat Roaches, and,
yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Got to recruit in England.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's starting to maybe, fall apart at the seams a little.
Yeah.
His forehead's starting to show through all that red paint.
On that note, anybody have anything else about Minute 96 or about Temple of Doom in general?
No, but we can talk about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. What if there were orcs down the blue tunnel? Maybe that was it. Maybe Indy knew from the Kali blood that there were orcs down there.
Oh, there are dorks in there. Yeah.
What, Pete? What?
What if you took 5 Sankara stones and you traded it for the one ring to rule them all? Like you'd have world domination against, you'd have a ring that rules all the other rings.
What if Indy one day met Galadriel, but she was a crazy Russian general or something?
Is Galadriel the guy that says one does not simply get Sankara stones?
No, he's the one with the handlebar mustache.
Oh, okay.
But what if,
And the
if you
monocle.
had, where Mola Ram is now, he's got 3 stones, would that be equal to, 2 rings for the humans?
Wait, don't the humans get 5 rings? They get the 5
Yeah,
stones.
but that's what I'm saying. It's an incomplete set.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Aren't there
I see what you're
3
saying.
elf rings? There's 3 elf rings. But they're
And
not
there were,
tied together.
Oh, yeah.
and there were, what, 9 rings for men?
Yes.
Oh, 9,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so they've got 12 rings and 5 stones.
There's a lot of rings.
Yeah, but that's just, but you're not including the dwarves, Peter.
Yeah.
The dwarves got rings, too.
Nor the one ring.
Do you need a complete set of rings to rule the world, like you do the stones? Or do you get varying levels of power with just some of the rings?
Oh, Pete.
No. The thing that's funny is if you gathered all those damn rings, it wouldn't matter because there's one ring to rule them all. So he deceived them.
I've heard that.
Okay,
Yes.
you might get this. It's like if all the other rings are scoring regular goal points in Quidditch, and one ring is the snitch. It's like, why do you even have the other things?
Okay.
You got the one thing.
I kind of get that one.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly what it
Okay.
is.
I've also just alienated about 85% of our audience.
Pete's got a lot of good qualities, everybody.
Yeah.
He's got this one black hole in his pop culture knowledge.
I did see the movie, but it was just a long, long time ago.
No backpedaling, Pete.
It's over 3 hours long. I don't blame you. So.
Yeah, I might have slept through part of it too. It was like a midnight showing, I think. Yeah, well, thank you, Cassandra. It was a lot of fun having you on today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And if there are other Lord of the Rings super fans like Jerry and Tom, and they would like to hear more of your podcast, where should we send them?
So you can find us on lordoftheringsminute.com or on duelinggenre.com.
Cool. And we have another dueling genre guy coming up later this week.
Oh, we do. That's true.
Yep. And as well as some other great Movies by Minutes hosts. And Tom, if people would like to hear our Movies by Minute hosts, other places, maybe other shows, what would you recommend?
They could go to... Wait, what are you leading me to?
Patreon.
Oh, Patreon. Yes. What if the Indiana Jones Minute hosts, one of who is me and the other one's Pete and the other one's Jer, what if they had another show on Patreon that you could get by supporting this show? Because that happens to be the case. You can. You go to patreon.com/Indiana Jones Minute. And if you support the show at the Club Obi-Wan level or higher, you will get access to the Anything Goes, our bonus show. And on that, we're going to be talking about other movies. Currently, depending on when you're listening to this, we're talking about a movie that we like to call Jaws. And we're having a ball. So join us over there.
Yeah.
Yep. And we're going through a fairly lengthy discourse on it. So if you like
taking our
Jaws,
time.
if you like Steven Spielberg, and you like this show, please check it out. And check us out again here tomorrow for minute 97 of the Indiana Jones Minute.
I wish the Sankara Stone had never come to me.
So do all who live through such sequels. Frodo!
Just disgusting.